Let's go ahead and play our second video. This one is very important. I want you to take a listen to this because AOC has the message for moderates and that the decline in El Señor Biden's rating right now is really caused by whom again? Los Moderates. Here it is.
Justice Breyer, on behalf of all the American people, our Build Back Better plan is paid for. It doesn't increase the deficit. And maybe the best news of all, it will actually help alleviate inflation. The Build Back Better plan lowers prices for families and gets people working.
The president met with some of the nation's top CEOs today as he tries to salvage major components of his stalled agenda. Still with us, New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Congresswoman, what is your reaction when you hear some in your party, some in the media, already blaming the left for the midterms defeat that seems to be coming your party's way and for Biden's low approval ratings? What do you say to their argument that Joe Biden went too far left in his first year, he was too ambitious, or as your House colleague Abigail Spanberger has said, nobody elected him to be FDR?
Well, I think folks like that, what they don't want to admit is that Biden has governed pretty much exactly the way they have asked him to. But the problem is that the way they have asked him to govern has been to slow down, not do too much. And we are now seeing the political consequences of not directly improving people's lives quickly. Well, here's the thing. I can't point to one major agenda where progressives or this so-called left sidelined the of the party in some dramatic fashion that can lead to this. I mean, the moderate end of the party has received everything that they have wanted from President Biden, including President Biden as the nominee himself. They got their president, they got their agenda, they got their sequence, they got their infrastructure plan with no BBB. They got all of it. And I can't really point to any real substantive or serious or intellectually rigorous argument as to anything that the progressive wing has done, aside from supporting President Biden, oftentimes more than the moderate wing of the party has, in a way that could lead to sinking poll numbers. There's just, when you don't change people's lives, people get upset. And we can improve people's lives. We can forgive student loan debt, and we can improve his poll numbers while we're at it.
Yeah, last time I checked, Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema were not self-styled socialists. What do you want to see happen to Build Back Better now? Is it dead? Because last night, former Obama advisor David Plouffe told me on this show that the Dems now basically have to just give Manchin what he wants, put what he wants in it, lose the rest. If you have to break it into chunks, do it. But you pass it and you run on whatever gets passed in November. Do you agree with that strategy?
Oh, the complication with that is that that's already been done with Build Back Better. Manchin issued really a laundry list of requests and demands and changes to what he wanted to Build Back Better. The first, that was the story of 2020. He wanted it decoupled. He wanted it shrunk. He wanted it changed. And he was essentially catered to throughout this entire process. The issue that we have is that every day, Senator Manchin wakes up, he has a different demand, and he wants to start over from scratch every single day. And so that is a quite difficult position to work with. This idea of just give him what he wants. He has been given everything that he wants. And so I believe that what the president, some avenues, not just the president, but the party, that we really need to explore what are the alternative measures to either bring Senator Manchin to the table, or how do we start exploring elements of Biden's agenda that can move forward without, without Senator Manchin.
And that is what's so important. How can we move it forward? Because the truth of the matter is, to put it bluntly, we really can't. But, I think the way you win the election in 2022, this year, is to point out what the deficiencies are and then go out there and campaign for it. For those who are thinking that, the big loss for Democrats, including in Georgia, where they're sort of behind in the polls right now, is baked in, and they're not behind by a bunch. For a state like Georgia, the amount that they're behind is negligible, really. What I find ironic is Warnock and Herschel Walker are in a virtual tie. We have a I mean, we have I don't like to be negative, but well, it's just hard to believe that those two are in a virtual tie. It's just hard to believe. But it is time. I spoke to somebody recently. I don't quite remember who it was. Actually, I do remember it was a local politician running for Congress last night. She contacted me and I called her up last night after I was done with some of my work. And she said, I am going to run. There's this red district, the new district in Texas. I am running for it, Egberto. And here's the deal. I asked her, how are you going to campaign? Are you going to campaign as a progressive? And initially she just said yes. And I said, but I trust that what you're going to campaign about is going there and tell people what you intend to do for them. And she said, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And the reason I ask the questions that way is, if we go into 2022, first telling people what we are going to do, why much of it was yet to be done because of obstructionists like all the Republicans and 2 Democratic senators, but we intend to do this. If we do that, we win. But let me tell you, what we cannot allow is for this election not to be fought on the terms of what we are going to do for you. Because I tell you what happens if we don't fight it on the terms of what we are going to do for you. They don't intend to fight on policy. In fact, they asked Mitt Romney, what are Republicans running on? And Mitt Romney says, let me get back to you on that. I mean, isn't that an easy answer? We're running on making sure Americans get the things that they need. That's a simple answer.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.